This video is for my fellow Mercedes V12 frustrated owners. If you've got an engine code indicating you've got a cylinder misfire and you're suspect of an ignition coil failure. Let me show you where the ignition coil pack is. You probably know that, but just so if you're taking it off for the first time, you're clear what your task is. You've got to take off your cold air snorkels, you've got to take out the air filter, you've got to have access over here to the banks where the coil packs reside. This one's basically out all the way, but it is tucked underneath the intake manifold. On the right side, you've got the issue, you've got to work your way around the transmission dipstick. But I've got this one just about ready to come out. And you want to be very careful that you don't force anything. If it's hung up, take your time, see where it's caught. But you can tell from looking here, we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 Torx heads, bolts that have to come out in order to release this. There are rubber boots, and I'm sure some are stuck in. The rubber boots will be slid over the spark plugs, so they are providing some resistance. Sometimes the boots get stuck on the plugs, which are the ones here that you see are bootless right now. So anyway, this is the coil pack, and this is what Mercedes wants $1,200 to replace if you're showing a cylinder misfire. Don't necessarily assume it is the coil. It could be a bad spark plug if it's been a long time since they've been in there, 100,000 miles plus. So make sure that your plugs are good. You've tried that. I realize it's a bit of hassle to take these things in and out. So I have repaired mine, and people want to know what's inside of here, thinking they can fix something. So this one has been repaired, and my suggestion is don't try it unless you've got professional people around you. So you've got to know what you're doing even to get this case off without breaking it. So the cover can come off. It is got an RTV bond on it, as well as like about 12 or 14 different clips that will grab on. So inside this coil pack, we've got a multi-layer printed circuit board. It's actually two boards. There's one here with a ribbon cable connecting them. There are components on both sides of the board, and it is epoxy covered. You've got MOSFET transistors that are the IC drivers for the ignition coils. So in this particular coil pack, I had cylinders 10, 11, and 12 that were all misfiring. So you can tell here I've got shiny coil ignition coils here. So I replaced 6 of them, and I left the other ones in. And I have replaced the MOSFET IC drivers as well. So this is going to fix this coil pack. But again, you really don't want to try to replace these. If you replace the MOSFET drivers, you've got to have professional quality solder suckers. These are heat sinks as well, so the entire bottom of these ICs has got to be soldered on. Now, if you're inclined to play with this thing when you take it out, I did see a video online where some guy was twisting out all of the ignition coils, which is something you do not want to do. There is about an 1/8 turn when the coils go into the module itself. There's a slight turn. You've got 3 fingers on here that are soldered to 3 fingers on the printed circuit board. If you twist this at all, you are going to break the wires off, which is okay, but you can't control what you're going to break. You may end up lifting a wire on the printed circuit board and pulling up the solder mask and ruining the trace on the board. Now you've created yet another problem. There is nothing to be gained by trying to take these ignition coils out of the boards. But if you'll go to my website, v12icpack.com, all the directions are on there. You can send me your packs. We can get them rebuilt. And as far as I know, nobody else can do it effectively and professionally done. So a solution does reside for you. We can replace just at least 2 at a minimum, depending on which cylinders have gone bad on you. In my case, I actually drove for 3 years with my 3 cylinders out, but they were on the bank that deactivates when you're cruising, so it wasn't that big of a deal for me, except on acceleration you could feel that it was slow. If you are missing cylinders 1 through 6, that is the side that remains active, and your car is probably just running very rough and very crappy all the time. So we can fix that. So again, go to the website, v12icpack.com. All the directions, instructions are on there if you want to get your control modules fixed. Okay, good luck. Thanks.